Okay, hey, welcome back to Skyrim. Last we left off, we are going to here. Felglow Keep. Here we will find books. Books that the orc librarian from the College of Winterhold wants us to acquire. Some of which may have the information we need regarding that big eye thing. Shouldn't have called it that. It's a big orb thing. Should not have called it that. I kind of gave it away. However, on this I shall say no more.
What was that?
How did I miss? Your soul is mine. Nom 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 nom.
Your kind has no place here!
Hey, what shout do I have? I need to add the shouts to my favorites bar. I have to keep doing this.
Bruce?
Stroda! Darofus. Horse meat. Delectable.
Oh.
I never had horse meat. I don't know whether it's bad or not. Certainly considerably more lean than, say, beef. Might actually be better for you. Don't know.
Huh? What is it?
Huh? What was that noise? That was a bad shot. Not even tried it. Souls!
Huh?
So many tasty, tasty souls. Oh, ghost meat. Goat meat. Say slated. Say ghost meat. Playing too much Final Fantasy Legend 3. It's not true. I haven't played it since I finished recording it, which was a while back. I guess. Might as well. Decorate my home.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Ow. Ugh.
What was that?
Ah, well. Left her twisted in the wind, didn't I? I figured it might be a vampire. You know how they are. Ah. Soul trapped the door. Oh, come on. Ah. You know what? Perish!
Thought I heard something. Do your worst.
Damn. Jesus. Wonder if it's a good idea to be absorbing the health of a vampire. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like it might have some risks. right there, pondering away.
Is
Send that
someone
stuff
there?
away. Losers. Stop messing around with vampires. It's not good for you. It's a very contagious condition. Not even carrying around any potions to cure disease on you. Bunch of pinheads. Dead.
Please, please let me out of here. You have to let me out. They're going to do something awful to me.
Are they?
There's a lever right there in the center. Hurry, before
Ooh,
more of them show up.
at last. We have all we need. I'll let you go later. Maybe. If I can find the books without your help, I might just leave you here. Serves you right for stealing the books in the first place. Asshole.
And begin. Again.
You're all worthless. Why was the apprentice training other apprentices? Not sure you understand how apprenticeship works. Can I kill 3 of them? Why do I only see 2 bodies? Oh. They're lying atop one another. In a very silly fashion. One. 2. 3. Missed. Right into the backside. tisk, tisk, and teterite. Yeah.
Huh?
Ouch. I've been lit ablaze, and I did not care for it. Doors of Oblivion. Well, this is a good one. I'm gonna have to read this. Thou enterest into Oblivion, Oblivion enters into thee. Nai Talor Lar. The greatest mage who ever lived was my master, Oren Zenas. You have heard of him as the author of the book On Oblivion, a standard text for all on matters Daedric. Despite many entreaties over the years, he refused to update his classic book with his new discoveries and theories, because he found that the more one delves into these realms, the less certain one is. He did not want conjecture, he wanted facts. For decades before and after the publication of On Oblivion, Zenas compiled a vast personal library on the subject of Oblivion, the home of the Daedra. He divided his time between this research and personal magical growth, on the assumption that should he succeed in finding a way into the dangerous world beyond and behind ours, he would need much power to wander the dark paths. 12 years before Zenas began the journey he had prepared his life to make, he hired me as his assistant. I possessed the 3 attributes he required for the position. I was young and eager to help, without question. I could read any book once and memorize its contents, and, despite youth, too was a master of conjuring. But he did not want to rely on his ability alone in the most perilous of his research. In an underground vault, he summoned Daedra to interview them on their native land, and for that he needed another conjurer to make certain they came, were bound, and were sent away again without incident. I will never forget that vault, not for its look, which was plain and unadorned, but for what you couldn't see. There were scents that lingered long after the summoned creatures had left. Flowers and sulfur, sex and decay, power and madness. They haunt me still to this very day. Conjuration, for the layman, unacquainted with its workings, connects the caster's mind with that of the summoned. It's a tenuous link meant only to lure, hold, and dismiss, but in the hands of a master it can be much stronger. The Sigix and Dwemer can, in the case of Dwemer, perhaps I should say, could connect with the minds of others and could converse miles apart, a skill that is sometimes called telepathy. Over the course of my employment, Zenas and I developed such a link between one another. It was accidental, a result of 2 powerful conjurers working closely together, but we decided that it would be invaluable should he succeed in traveling to Oblivion. Since the denizens of that land could be touched even by the skills of an amateur conjurer, it was possible we could continue to communicate with her so I could record his discoveries. The doors to oblivion, to use Morin Zenos' phrase, are not easily found. We exhausted many possibilities before we found one where we held the key. The Sigics of Artaeum have a place they call the Dreaming Cave, where it is said one can enter into the Daedric realm and return. Salatsil, Nibaka, and many others have been recorded as using this means, but despite many entreaties to the Order, we were denied its use. Tellers, the leader of the Order, has told us it has been sealed off for the safety of all. We had hoped of using the ruins of the Battle Spire to access Oblivion. The Where Gate still stands, though the old proving ground of the Imperial Battle Mages itself was shattered some years ago in Jagger Starn's time. Sadly, after an exhaustive search through the Detrius, we had to conclude that when it was destroyed, all access to the realm beyond the Soul Cairn, the Shade, Perilous, and the Havoc Wellhead had been broken. It was probably for the good, but it frustrated our goal. The reader may have heard of other doors, and he may be assured we attempted to find them all. Some are pure legend, or at any rate not traceable based on the information left behind. There are references in lore to Marcos Abyss, the Corrigan Mirror, the Lenta and Crux, the Crossroads, the Mouth, a riddle of a chemical formula called Jangeth and its Rising Sun, and many other places and objects that are said to be doors, but we could not find. Some exist, but cannot be entered safely. The whirlpool in Abacan, called the Maelstrom of Baal, can make ships disappear and may be a portal into oblivion, but the trauma of riding its waters would surely slay any who tried. Likewise, we did not excuse me. Likewise, we do not consider it worth the risk to leap from the Pillar of Thras, a 1,000-foot-tall spiral of coral, though we witnessed the sacrifices the Sloats made there. Some victims were indeed killed by the fall, but some indeed seemed to vanish before dashing on the rocks. Since the Sloat did not seem certain why some were taken and some died, we did not favor the odds of the plunge. The simplest and most maddening complex way to go to oblivion was simply to cease to be here and begin to be there. Throughout history, there are examples of mages who seemed to travel to the realms beyond ours, seemingly at will. Many of these voyagers are long dead, if they ever existed, but we were able to find one still living, in a tower off of Bay. On the island of Vanderfell, in the province of Morrowind, there exists a very old, very reclusive wizard named Vaethir. He was not easy to reach, and he was reluctant to share with Morin Zenos the secret doors to oblivion. Fortunately, my master's knowledge of the lore impressed Fear, and he taught him the way. I would be breaking my promise to Zenith and Freya to explain the procedure here, and I would not divulge it, even if I could. If there is dangerous knowledge to be had, that is it. But I do not reveal too much to say that Fear's scheme relied on exploiting a series of portals to various realms created by Telvanni wizards long missing and presumed dead. Against the disadvantages of the limited number of access points, we weighed the relative reliability and security of passage and considered ourselves fortunate in our informant. Morin Zenos then left this world to begin his exploration. I stayed at the library to transcribe his information and help him with any research he needed. Dust, he whispered to me on the first day of his voyage. Despite the inherent dreariness of the word, I could hear his excitement in his voice and echoing in my mind. I could see from one end of the world to the other in a million shades of gray. There is no sky or ground or air, only particles floating, falling, whirling around me. I must levitate and breathe by magical means. Zenos explored the nebulous land for some time, encountering vaporous creatures and palaces of smoke. Though he never met the prince, we concluded that this was in Ashpit, said to be the home of Malakath, where the anguish, betrayal, and broken promises like ash fill the mid-air. The sky is on fire, I heard him say as he moved on to the next realm. The ground is sludge but transversable. I see blackened ruins all around me, like a war was fought here in distant past. The air is freezing. I cast blooms of warmth all around me, but it still feels like daggers of ice stab me in all directions. This was Cold Harbor, where Molag Bal was prince. It appeared to Xenos as if it were a future Nirn under the king of rape, desolate and barren, filled with suffering. I could hear Morin Xenos weep at the images he saw and shiver at the sight of the imperial palace splattered with blood and excrement. Too much beauty, Xenos gasped when he went to the next realm. I am half blind. I see flowers and waterfalls, majestic trees, a city of silver, but it is all a blur. The colors run like water. It's raining now and the wind smells like perfume. This is surely Moonshadow where Azura dwells. Xenos was right, and astonishingly, he even had audience with the Queen of Dusk and Dawn in her Rose Palace. He listened to his tale with a smile, and told him of the coming of the Neverine. The master found Moonshadow so lovely he wished to stay there, half blind forever, but he knew he must move on and complete his journey of discovery. I am in a storm, he told me as he entered the next realm. He described the landscape of dark, twisting trees, howling spirits, and billowing mist, and I thought he might have entered the deadlands of Muros Dagon. But then he said, no, I am no longer in a forest. There was a flash of lightning, and now I am in a ship. The mast is tattered, the crew slaughtered. Something is coming through the waves. Oh, gods. Wait. Now I am in a dank dungeon and a cell. He was not in the Deadlands, but Quagmire, the nightmare realm of Varmina. Every few minutes there was a flash of lightning and reality shifted, always to something more horrible and horrifying. A dark castle one moment, a den of ravenous beasts the next, a moonlit swamp, a coffin where he was buried alive. Fear got the better of my master and he quickly passed to the next realm. I heard him laugh. I feel like I'm at home now. Morin Xenos described to me an endless library, shelves stretching on in every direction, stacks on top of stacks. Pages floated on a mystical wind that he could not feel. Every book had a black cover with no title. He could see no one, but felt the presence of ghosts moving through the stacks, rifling through books, ever searching. He was in Apocrypha, the home of Hermaeus Mora, where all forbidden knowledge can be found. I felt a shudder in my mind, but I could not tell if it was my master's or mine. Morin Xenos never traveled to another realm that I know of. Throughout his visit to the first four realms, my master spoke to me constantly. Upon entering the Apocrypha, he became quieter, as he was lured into this world of research and study, the passions that had controlled his heart while in Nirn. I would frantically try to call to him, but he closed his mind to me. And he would whisper, "This cannot be. No one would ever guess the truth. I must learn more. I see the world at a last illusion shimmer. It's crumbling all around us." I would cry back to him, begging him to tell me what was happening, what he was seeing, what he was learning. I even tried using conjuration to summon him as if he were a Daedra himself, but he refused to leave. Morin Xenos was lost. I last received a whisper from him 6 months ago. Before then it had been 5 years, and 3 before that. His thoughts are no longer intelligible in any language. Perhaps he is still in Apocrypha, lost but happy, in a trap he refuses to escape. Perhaps he slipped between the stacks and passed into the madhouse of Sheogorath, losing his sanity forever. I would save him if I could. I would silence his whispers if I could. I liked that book. First time I ever bothered to read it, I had heard about it in a video, and I was like, wow, that sounds great. Sort of a thing that I should put in my, library. And at last I have found it. Loser. Damn it, Lydia. No sense of self-preservation in that woman, I swear. I know she's sworn her life to me, but she doesn't have to throw it away like that. Big old wheel of cheese. Good. Oh, man, I don't want to... That is a rare item. A unique item, rather. I can't get rid of that. Bard.
Is someone there?
No. Don't make it too easy for me. I remember that book. Two sneaky mages discussing a hypothetical situation. That might not be so hypothetical. Your soul is mine. Here, have this staff back. I don't like it. Ugh. Fungal pods. Blech. I can think of few things grosser than that. Fungi in general just yeah. No, thank you. This is going a little over time, but you know. I want to finish this little journey. This little quest, as it will. Well, not finish it entirely, just get the books I'm looking for. No. No, 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 no. Oh, thank God. Jeez.
So you're the one who barged into my home and laid waste to my project. How nice to meet you. Fools!
Ooh, book. Where'd she go? I wasn't done killing her. Oh well. Right, we can't go that way because her body's gone. Oh, there she is. Well, that fixes that problem, don't it? Okie dokie. Call it a video here. I'm the Blues 32. This is Skyrim. ETFN, ta for now.